On behalf of Captain Don Dotson and his wife Debbie, the host of today's ceremony, for the naming of Victory Ship Roland Scotty Dotson, welcome to Fulton County Airport on a lovely Alabama day.
Alabama.
Not Georgia. I did that for Don on purpose because I know he loves Alabama. Yeah, right, Don? Something about Alabama and Georgia. No, I won't go there. We're glad so many of you, in all seriousness, could join us today on this special occasion.
I really want to thank everyone for being here today. I know it's hard to get a group together like this, and Scotty would be extremely proud to know that you folks took it out of your busy schedule to be here. While being proud, he'd also be somewhat confused why we would hold a ceremony like this on a Saturday during college football season. But we're really here today for three reasons. The first is this is the kind of the resurgence of DIA. We're a 24-year-old airline that, as he said earlier, has flown throughout the Western Hemisphere. But today we're launching a whole new era in DIA. Two or three things we're going to do different is we're going to take the former DIA staff, and they've combined with this new group of guys that worked with us together at EOS, and we're going to form a whole new era for DIA with a focus on trying to do emergency relief operations. We'll still be in the general commercial cargo operation, but we also think there's a need to serve the country and the community by taking the experience and the assets you have and making it useful to the community. So this is kind of a resurgence of that particular goal. We think there's a lot of need out there, and we think there's a lot of opportunity. This will be just the first ship in that long road to having a fleet to do that. The second reason we're here today is to honor the DC-3 in general, and this DC-3 in particular, November 4550 Juliet. The DC-3, this one in particular, was built in 1942. They've been in the air since the late 30s. And I can't think of another airplane in the world that's flown the same mission for 75 years. I think it's just, if you're an aviation buff, you got to respect and love the DC-3. It's a very unique airplane in our history. And this one was unique to us. It joined the DIA fleet in 1990. It's been around a long time. And I'm going to let Captain Dave Cooksey just give you a little brief history on this one particular airplane, just so you can understand what this airplane has done for the world and our society for the last 70 plus years.
It's got character built into it. We're talking to Ron yesterday, and he was pointing out, says, if you look, it's been through a hailstorm, and we've done all those repairs and stuff like that. And I said, that just adds character to it. He says, exactly right. I did some figuring last night, and this airplane is 9 years older than I am. It's 69, so you can figure how old I am. But isn't that amazing that 69 years ago, this aircraft was born, basically, on November 26, 1942. 3 days later, it was delivered to the Army Air Corps in Mobile, Alabama Air Depot. And within 30 days, it was in North Africa serving our country. There's a lot of tradition in that just little window of time with these aircraft that have been there.
That being said, from now on, whenever we refer to this airplane, it'll be referred to as Victory Ship Colonel Roland Scotty Dotson, and his name will be placed on the nose of the airplane for everyone to see and recognize throughout the world as we fly. I want to thank everyone for coming out today for this celebration. I know it means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to Scotty and his family. We all have a busy schedule, but there are sometimes we need to step back and remember those that have meant more to us and meant more to the world than just the average person. A lot of you have contributed in the similar manner, and I know you can appreciate the sacrifices that have to be made to be away from your friends and family.
I'm very proud to represent Scotty's military unit at the dedication today. As most of you know, I flew with Scotty from being second lieutenants through colonels. We flew the F-4 Phantom types together, flew the F-16 types for over 20 years. I flew his wing, and he flew mine. And I knew him well. I knew what kind of officer he was. I knew what kind of pilot he was. And I knew what kind of man he was. And I cannot think of anything cooler than this, Don, than to dedicate an aircraft like this.
Now, BJ couldn't be here today, and neither could Harry Nutter. Both of them are out of town, but both took time to contact me and wanted me to say a few things about Scotty. Harry worked with Scotty on the 737-200 before they both came over to the 737-800. Harry said that working with Scotty was one of the highlights of his FAA career. He had never worked with anyone that was more professional and loved his job like Scotty did. BJ, on the other hand, could only think of Scotty the way only BJ would. Scotty was way ahead of his time when it came to taking care of his crew and passengers. For example, he was the first Delta pilot to wear a belt buckle so big that the entire crew could get behind it for bird strike protection. Few people knew that he wore his pointy-toed cowboy boots to work just so he could help hesitant passengers down the aircraft slides in case of a ground evacuation. He was also one of the first people to support Bud Harder's attempt to get high-top Converse sneakers as the official footwear of the 737.
Message from the 43rd President of the United States, President George W. Bush, that he would like me to read for this naming ceremony today. Greetings to those gathered at Fulton County Airport's Charlie Brown Field in Atlanta, Georgia, for the Dotson International Air naming ceremony of the Victory ship Colonel Roland Scotty Dotson, DC-3. In every generation, members of the United States Armed Forces have carried out liberty's urgent and noble mission with skill, honor, and unrelenting determination. Scotty's service in the Alabama National Guard and the United States Air Force helped to make the world more peaceful and more free, and it is fitting to name this historic aircraft in his honor. Dotson International Air is demonstrating the best of the American spirit by using this plane for emergency relief flights. I am grateful for DIA's commitment to giving back, loving a neighbor, and helping our fellow citizens. Laura and I send our best wishes to you. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless our country. George W. Bush. Thanks.
Wow.